Putting up new buildings, we're knocking down the old. We're working in the summer heat and in the winter cold. And the labour power we sell, me boys, for a hard-earned weekly pay produces mighty profits for the greedy MBA. And whether we were born here or born in Italy, in Greece, in Spain or Ireland, in England or Fiji, we all of us are workers, united we must stand, until the wealthy bludgers have been driven from our land. We faced deregistration, it backfired in the face. We're not fooled by arbitration, we won't stay in our place. We hit the bosses hard and fast to win and keep our gains, and break a couple of concrete pours to back our log of claims. So keep your powder dry and hold your head up high. It's class to class and face to face, our limit is the sky. We've got a fighting history and we never will be cowed. Our builders' labour is a name to make a man feel proud.
And it's good morning from the Concrete Gang, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. 9:30 every Sunday morning on 8:55 on the AM dial. 3CR Concrete Gang here, longest-running radio show, award-winning gold radio show, Campo. And that's good morning to Campo. And we've got Herman here.
Morning. How you going?
How are you, Herman? We've just named him Herman. Good to see you there, mate. Make an effort to come in and have a chat to the listeners. Now, we've got to clear up a few things here this morning, Campo.
What are we clearing up?
Well, the Concrete Gang. All right. Now, it's been going for something like 45 years. Now, I'd be fair to say that we don't always get everything right. You know, there's been, over 45 years, there's been a couple of occasions we might have got something wrong. But we've got a learned listener called Rebecca from Seabus.
Seabus? What would they be listening to the show about?
Well, apparently, in August, you know, about 10 years ago, we mentioned the whatever it was about how much you'll get in the sleep, and we made a couple of little mistakes. Now, I don't know about Rebecca's couldn't been listening too long, because if that's the only mistake we've made, God, you know, it's a miracle. But she's sent an email in, and she's, you know, wants it redacted and all this. Well, Rebecca, I've got some bad news here. I mean, get a life, and you've had your other little what do you call those things that help you out at Christmas?
Elf.
Elves. You had your other elves running around, you know, making everything worse and ringing them, emailing and stuff. Look, we don't really give a rat's ass. We just do our best. In fact, the more complaints we get, the better we like it. So if you've got any complaints, send them in.
Rebecca shan't be hanging around construction too long if you're going to start giving yourself a rap. Someone's giving you a rap and you want to make it go backwards a bit. I mean, come on. Talk yourself up, Rebecca. Have a go.
Oh,
I just feel sorry for the poor person that has to listen each week every time we mention Seabus.
Yeah, well, anyway.
G'day to that person.
Anyway, we'll move on, Rebecca. We just hope you do.
I just hope Rebecca remembers that construction workers are the ones that won Super and Seabus.
We want to know how long it took her to do all those emails and time wasted. But anyway, look, and talking about complaints, we've had a couple this week, which is good. We don't mind complaints. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's always a lot of complaints when I'm left by myself.
Nah, that's right. old Shagger's rang in. He's rang in. Shagger, he's not happy with the music. He said, sack the music director.
I want to see that in writing.
Well, we'll get that in writing. Don't worry about that. But, all right, Shagger, but it's all right complaining, Shagger. If you don't like the music, you've got to come up with an alternative.
Yeah, that's it. I'm open to suggestions.
Give us the song you want to play.
Probably won't get played though.
You might spit the dummy out of the cop, but anyway. No, if you got complaints, we're happy to hear them. You know, that's what it's all about. But I'm not about Rebecca, but anyway, we'll move on, won't we? Probably not. What have we got, boys? We've got to talk about this week. We've had a cup week. I missed out and giving you the winner for the cup, but anyway, never mind. But couldn't make it. There was a fair bit happening last Friday with the storms coming in. If you remember, the cranes spinning around and doing donuts and all sorts of things going on. So
I tell you what, just on cup, did anyone have any luck at the cup? I didn't pick up winner up all day.
I did. I had some bad luck.
That was the sort of luck everyone had, I think.
I'm going that well. TAB put extra money in my account and put a hamper on my front door today. What's that tell you?
That's telling me.
Who you reckon paid for that?
Oh,
That's how well I'm going. But anyway.
it was good to see the crowds there and that, and
It's good to
get
see.
it back to normal.
Good to see. Yeah, that's right.
A few frothies at the pub.
We're going to go to the pub, have a few beers and whatever. Well, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about maybe COVID. Herman's he's our liaison officer with the government. Would you say, Herman?
Yeah, I suppose they'd put it that way, although there hasn't been much liaising going on for them most of the time. It's 5 minutes before someone makes a statement in the media, they come and give us a ring and say, oh, yeah, here we go, we're going to say something about construction. So, that's what their consultation is. But
With COVID, what's going on with that, mate?
I think they're just sticking with what they're doing. They're going to be dropping down to 2 square metres, I think it is next week. No masks outside. So that's in this week. I think just moving to Christmas, they're just going to be slowly removing stuff one by one until we get as close to normal as we're going to be. I don't think it's going to change for a while, from what I gather. Looks like Dan Andrews is trying to give himself all sorts of powers by the look of it, but we'll see what happens. They've been removing stuff one by one. I think that we'll end up where it's just going to be cleaner and stay to the 2 square metres and make sure that, not as many in the hoist as usual, all that sort of stuff. But, yeah, there doesn't seem to be a heap changing between now and, I think, last I heard, they were just saying it's going to be going all through next year. So
It's been going all right, really. We've had a couple of cases on jobs, not many, though, have we? The odd one here or there. Or
there was a few. Like when we first come back, I think there was like 15 in 3 days, but there's not as many people need to go on ISO now. So you can get, you only need the, if you do your contact tracing properly and the builder hasn't taken the piss, then you can just get the fewer close contacts going, but the rest of them are fine.
So the jabbing system's working, really, isn't it?
It seems to be. Yeah. Well, we're working anyway, so that's better than not.
Yeah. All right, mate. What else you got from the up there? You're talking about WorkSafe, mate. You've been in there trying to stir them up and get a decent result for the workers at WorkSafe. With the WorkSafe trying to put a fire under those shit carters, but I don't know how you're going.
No, not great. Every time they try and fix something, it goes backwards again, as usual. We all know the story. Like they say they're going to give us something, they do, and then they replace the person who was useful with someone useless. So usual for bureaucrats, but I think we're at the stage where we're just going to ask for a separate authority. I think that'll be the next ask from the government. We need a separate inspectorate away from the insurance arm. To be honest, there's a conflict of interest there as far as I'm concerned anyway. You got the insurance part of the WorkSafe, where most of the money, time and effort goes into stopping people being paid out when they hurt themselves. There's a lot more effort goes into that than investigating deaths or someone losing an arm. And until we separate the inspectorate from the insurance arm, I don't think there's not going to be much in the way of changing, because every time we get something changed, bugger all happens.
And we left old Campo in here last week, and he spent the whole show talking about himself. He had himself as a koala bear up a tree at one stage. I don't know what I've had nightmares ever since I heard that, because I'm thinking old Campo, imagine him up a tree, because they're always pissed koala bears under eating eucalyptus.
Yeah,
imagine him falling out of a tree.
Mate, I would aim for you. I would. If I was in a tree and you were walking underneath, you would be getting dropped on.
Jeez, that's scary, isn't it?
I don't know what part of me would be getting dropped.
What do you got anyway, mate? You got nothing for us?
Mate, obviously, there's a bit going on. Obviously, I just had a few more questions for Herman. Much work coming up through the government stuff? Are they about to release any more work for the members?
There's a couple more school packages getting released in the next couple of days. So I think it's 13 schools all up, being built fresh. Social housing, that stuff should be kicking off shortly.
There's a lot of them going. I've got a couple of those jobs in my area.
I think there's a $300 million one at Kensington. There's a couple others like that. So it seems like they're building more social housing than anyone. But as long as they get it to the right builders, which we've been asking them, because last thing we need is grubs like Element 5 or someone like that who were on one list getting that work, because we all know what they're like. They give no one anything. You'll be walking around on $22 an hour trying to find something, a safety officer who sits in an office in queue or something.
And obviously, the other question I had for you is that licensing of trades. How far are we off from that? A few members have been asking about that. So.
Yeah, well, it's been ticked off. They've picked a model which is basically what we wanted, which is the apprenticeship model, where you actually do indentured 4 years to get a tick off. If obviously for those members worried about it, if you've been doing the job for a long time and you haven't got your papers, there is going to be an RPL, so they can come to site and test your skills. So if you've got the skill level that you need, you're not going to be disadvantaged by being told you're not a chippy. But if you're just someone who needs a bit extra here or there, you know, they'll come to site, they'll assess you, they'll do their paperwork, and anything else you're missing, you'll do. But basically, it's another way we're trying to protect the trades. Obviously, we all know the issues we got in the industry with certain, you know, plaster and tiling, etc., etc. We need to get it to the stage where it's the same as what the plumbers and sparkies got. It's licensed. You've got to do it to do that work. And that's starting in January, so we can get to a stage where it's not just a matter of, hey, I can pick up a hammer and knock a nail in, and I can build a deck, that we actually have skilled, licensed people doing the work we need. And that also protects the trade for those who are already doing it.
Yeah, that's going to be great. I mean, that's going to help clear up the other side of the industry, as you said, Herman, with the painting. They're doing painting too? Or?
Yeah, everything. Yeah. Every traditional trade we got, they're going to be doing. And so we won't be walking in on jobs like I have done before and watching people look at YouTube to figure out how to hang sheets on the side of the wall.
Yeah, we've seen that happen, yeah. And, that's going to be good. And they'll get all the carpenters out of the rigging and dogging jobs too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Here we go.
There's a sore point there.
Well, you know.
One dog, one bone.
One dog, one bone, mate. Yeah, so that's going to be... all right, what else we got, lads?
Well, obviously, we got to talk about Scotty from marketing, don't we?
Oh, the genius.
The genius. He started a war with the French. We're nearly at war, aren't we?
You wouldn't rob a Milky Way with that bloke. He'd give you up straight away, wouldn't he? He'd go to the local corner shop as a 5-year-old and he'd go give you up to the owner straight afterwards, like he just did to the French.
He's leaking more than the Titanic.
He's a genius, that bloke, isn't he?
Oh, please.
Well, we sent him over there. Geez, they couldn't make to get him back. They reckon he spoke at the climate change thing. There was 3 people in the room.
Yeah.
How embarrassing. How are we going to go have any deals with anyone overseas now? Oh, no worries. Yeah, we'll take your word for that, mate. Yeah, no worries.
Oh, it's a good thing we voted for him too. I mean, let's be honest, he might not be a genius, but there was at least 45% of us voted for the fuckwit.
So they're less than genius. But it's embarrassing, isn't it? As an Australian, you feel you cringe. You're just like the only thing we got for climate change is technology will stop this. You know, obviously
$90 billion contract, and I reckon when in 20 years' time, when we may have got our first sub, it was going to be out of date.
Yeah, it'll be like the planes that can't fly on their own.
Skinny could have gone quicker past him in his little dinghy fishing out in Port Phillip Bay than the submarine.
But how much money we already spent on it, like setting the stuff up in South Australia and all this other stuff?
There's a lot of our members lost their jobs in South Australia over that, and all that. But you wonder how they.
We've done a deal with Boris Johnson. He's another. Imagine them two. They should be doing Danos Direct or something, trying to sell fucking. What do you call that? You know, the one who used to sell the detergent and the pots and pans. That's about their standard, not right in the country.
Old Biden's asleep in the crowd.
Old Sleepy Joe. Yeah, he's got no idea.
Couldn't even remember his name.
Why would you?
Oh, mate, honestly, it's scary shit, isn't it?
If you saw that bloke running Australia, you'd go, I'll just invade them. I'm going to invade them. If that's what the best they got.
They don't need to. We do everything they say anyway, to be honest with you.
Well, they probably have. We wouldn't know up north, would you?
Nah. Especially, mate, you go there for holidays.
In there.
You got me. I did the builder's labour stutter there.
You did. Well, while you're stuttering, we should cut to a track. Now, listen, we're under the pump here with the music. Can you get us out of my ear?
Yeah, mate. I've got a good one.
What do you got?
Because it's obviously Remembrance Day coming up, and get out there and buy a badge. I'm going with the Pogues, Waltzing Matilda, shortened version.
Beautiful.
When I was a young man, I carried my pack, and I lived the free life of a rover. From the Murray Spring Basin to the dusty outback, I waltzed my Matilda all over. Then in 1915, my country said, son, it's time to stop rambling, there's work to be done. So they gave me a tin hat and they gave me a gun, and they sent me away to the war. and the band played Waltzing Matilda as we sailed away from the quay. And amidst all the tears, the shouts and the cheers, we sailed off for Gallipoli. Now those who were living did their best to survive in that mad world of death, blood and fire. And for 7 long weeks I kept myself alive, though the corpses around me grew higher. Then a big Turkish shell knocked me arse over tits, and when I awoke in my hospital bed and saw what it had done, Christ, I wished I was dead. Never knew there were worse things than dying. And no more I'll go waltzing Matilda to the green bushes so far and near, for the hindtons and pegs a man needs 2 legs. No more waltzing Matilda for me. And now I'm an old man, I sit on my porch and I watch the parade pass before me. I see my old comrades, how proudly they march, reliving the dreams of past glory. I see the old man, all tattered and torn, the forgotten heroes of a forgotten war. And the young people ask me what are they marching for, and I ask myself the same question. And the band plays Waltzing Matilda, and the old man still answer the call. But year after year, their numbers get fewer. Someday no one will march there at all. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, go waltzing Matilda with.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that because we didn't hear it.
It was a good song.
The musical director's on his last one. He's going to get the sack soon, so he's going to have to lift his game.
Mate, don't get jealous because I reckon I got a few good reports to say how I handled the show last week. And
Yeah, well,
now you've come in all jealous and having shots from afar.
I can't think of one, mate. Anyway.
My auntie rang me up and said, you're doing a good job.
Oh, that's good enough. That's fair enough.
Thanks, Auntie Nora.
And look, just touching on why I wasn't here last week, the cranes, I mean, a lot of people on the Friday saw that we had those massive storms and Multiplex had a crane that was spinning like a top on top of one of their buildings, which I don't even know the name of it because it's not my area, but it's in the city down the bottom of Lonsdale Street near Spencer Street. And I think there's 3 or 4 cranes on the job. Anyway, I went down there. And for people that don't understand, the cranes have got to, when they leave them at night, they've got to be jigged in a certain position so they can wind vane. When they say wind vane, they can slew with the wind. If the wind changes, the crane slews around and changes. So if they get big winds, it just keeps moving with the wind. If they're not on wind vane and they're rigid, that's when they get blown over. And anyway, one of those cranes was spinning all right. It was spinning like a spinning top because they've come up with some other design with the jibs. They bring, because they've had a jib that's blown over backwards. So they've had these jibs that the hurricane proof buffers, and they have the jibs that go right back against them. But because they're right back, they don't wind vane as well, so they put a kite, like a sail on the back of them. And I think that's why that crane was spinning so much. So I'm not sure about all that yet, but we're investigating that at the moment. But, yeah, look, I didn't see that till later after I'd gone down and see what happened. But so, yeah, I mean, you've got to get that sort of stuff right, the cranes, because, I mean, I was terrified. I thought there'd be one of at least something come over, because those winds were massive, weren't they? Oh. And when we're up the top there, you really couldn't stand up.
How did Clark's not get any go?
Yeah, well, that's right, Clark's. Yeah, well, let's not talk about that. There'll be another court case.
Bloody, just like, how bad was the weather? It was a funny story. Box Hill was really windy on that day.
We'll be the judge of it if it's a funny story.
The shoppy's got everyone out. There was a plasterer at labourer still trying to clean up plaster of wire. It was actually getting blown off the walls.
Off the walls?
He's got a broom trying to clean up the plasterer. Shit. That's a labourer dedicated to his job, making sure everything's cleaned up.
Well, he wasn't carrying sheets, he'd end up in Tasmania.
So, yeah, there was a few. We had the pro build job on Elizabeth Street. All the formwork on the top deck ended up all spaghetti. It all blew over. The tables a lot. All ended up looked like a bloody great mess. Nothing had been tied down, and obviously there was no steel in it or anything because it hadn't been tied in. So they ended up the tables on top of everything and all that sort of stuff. So that they had an early mark there. But yeah, it was windiest I've seen for a fair while.
That's why those screens come in handy, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I was lucky they were up. Otherwise, it would have been the middle of Elizabeth Street would have been different. Yeah,
that's lifesaver, those screens they put around the buildings now, I'll tell you. Yeah, so it was pretty hectic day. So we got out of jail with that one, I think. But yeah, all right. 17 minutes past, so we might as well start talking about. Well, we've got a few contenders for the Suki Lala, haven't we?
Couple of contenders.
What about Scallywags?
Scallywags, right? We've got one contender that I've got. Solid. What are they called? Solid. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. We've got all that.
Rock Solid Civil. Sorry, it was on my phone. I was trying to find it up.
Too much eucalyptus, mate.
Rock Solid Civil. They're chasing an Indigenous EBA because obviously, and you need 51% to have an Indigenous EBA. So the boss rang up, Luke, his name, wants an Indigenous EBA. When he spoke to our Indigenous organiser, and our Indigenous organiser asked him, so what tribe are you from? He didn't know. So, yep, he's Indigenous,
He's in that tribe we're all been and the one that gets lost.
And then he went on to say, well, he doesn't need the CFMEU. They can go fuck themselves. Well, he probably did because a month or two beforehand, he tried to ring up and get a women's EBA. So he keeps trying to get all these different EBAs. But like he said, ring up for an Indigenous EBA. He goes on 51% owned Indigenous. My dad's Indigenous. And so it's him and his dad in this company. Well, wouldn't that make it 100%? It's not 50%. So. If you're both Indigenous, but you don't know what tribe you're from. Ooh. So...
Yeah, 1 and 1's 2, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It's 100%, eh? So, yeah, you've got to learn to do his maths. But apparently he wanted a women's EBA as well, but apparently the CFMU can go get F, so he'll ring back in a couple of weeks. Probably want a different EBA.
What else you got?
Well, that's all I've got at this stage. I've got Scott Morrison from,
Scott Morrison.
Got to give him that.
He's the best, isn't he? Like, he's really decorating himself in glory, isn't he? I mean, they'd have the big dinner ladder, wouldn't they? The big long table. He'd be sitting down one end on his own, wouldn't he? No one would want to know him, would they? Nah.
He'd be putting it in his bag so he could take it back to the hotel and find some fucking mates.
Taking the Traveller. Taking the Traveller back to
It'd be boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He's probably dubbing on the wait staff for not bringing him his food quick enough. That's what his form is, isn't he? He's a dog and a half.
Scotland got submarines. He might be checking their submarines while he's there.
He'd be one of those blokes that eat triangle sandwiches, cut them up in little triangles.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
Oh, that's no good, is it? You don't have little triangles, do you? You don't want one of those.
I'm not too old for them, am I?
I know you have no crust.
Oh, come on, mate.
Get stuck in the dentures, but...
Get curly hair.
Bloody obviously that one. I've got to give it one to the mining division. Oh, coming out, going. We got to move away from zero. What's the word I'm looking for? Zero emissions. We shouldn't be aiming for zero emissions. They're going to go somewhere else. Well, yeah, sweet. Go somewhere else. We need to save the environment.
The old coal factor.
Coal factor. Yep.
Yeah, well, I know they want to save their members' jobs, but you got to look at what's happening and have some sort of idea. And saying, "Oh, we can't go to zero emissions at all," that's just a ridiculous thing to say. Plus, they keep taking pot shots at us. So.
Yeah. So.
But they should be lobbying for their members to get these, transitional jobs.
Well, you got Just Transition, Germany, Spain, places like that, where they've actually fought for people to either retire early or be retrained. And their answer is to keep digging up coal out of the ground. It's not going to work real well.
Yeah, and they don't care about any of the other mines either.
No. All right, so we've got two, and the Suki Lalas, well, there's a few of them, but then Rebecca, she's leading the pack there. Rebecca with the two elves.
I don't know. The bloke who was talking about your music choice.
Shaggy, no, he's not going to...
I'm taking it a bit personal, that one.
We know you, but we reckon that's pretty fair. So we'll let Shaggy go, but he's got to come through with a song for next week, otherwise he might be.
And it better be a good one.
Yeah, and Morrissey. So all right, it's a bit early to give the scallywags up yet, but
who was the bloke at the Liberal Party? Is it Tim?
Crash Craddock.
Smith. Yeah, we got to give it him a bit, don't we?
What about that? He got pissed and drove through a fence or something, knocked it.
Gladys? Oh, Gladys, she's in a bit of trouble in New South Wales, isn't she?
She's chucked them up in the air, chucked the old legs up in the air, and got
a few porky pies.
What about that bloke? What a dud! What an absolute! you hear him. He's a slimy rat, isn't he? I can't believe how she could.
A politician.
Well,
it comes with the membership with that party, doesn't it?
But I can't believe she never picked him. He just sounds like a slimy rat on the interviews he's been given. Mate,
I still don't understand what's the problem with paying $33 million for a $3 million bit of land. Come on, what's wrong with that? Surely that's okay.
There's nothing unusual about
that's
that.
That's fine.
That'd be all
There's
sorted.
no rort going on there.
That'd be all sorted out on the vinegar straight, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And I've got to give someone, the media, they're giving it to Paul that Jordan De Goey, he's played up overseas and now he's going to be hung.
More drugs than Keith Richards, him.
Oh, you're on holidays, you can play up.
Eh?
You're on holidays, everyone plays up every now and again on holidays.
Hitting a girl or something? Or
did he?
There's a bit more involved. It's easy, mate.
Whoops. I'm off Jordan De Goey, I'll give you the tip.
Jeez, you're going to get us hung now. They'll all be rigging in now. All right, what else we got? We got anything else? Anything else we can think of before we pick the scallywags and the Suki Lalas?
Obviously, mate.
Coming up
grab a poppy.
Oh yes.
We've got to talk about that.
Grab a poppy and don't forget we're coming up to Christmas, so there'll be the big push on soon. So don't fall into all that because you know what happens. We get a lot of injuries and people badly hurt this time of year because the bosses are making up for lost ground. So it comes down to pushing our members and trying to finish things that were, you've got no hope of finishing 6 months and 6 weeks or something like that. So just be careful. Just do what you can do. Keep your eye on the ball. And at the end of the day, if it's not finished, bad luck.
Yeah, it's always going to be there next year, isn't it?
Yeah, between Melbourne Cup and Christmas, the stats are we get the most accidents in construction.
Yeah.
We all know why everyone wants to get to the end of the year. And particularly this year when the bosses are all going to be trying to make up lost time. We all know what happened. Every bit of concrete, everybody crane jump, every hour under the sun they want to work. I know they've got extra daylight too, so they probably want to work every hour that there's a bit of sunlight they can go and get into. So just be careful. And if you don't want to say no yourself, go and find your rep.
Exactly.
That's what we're there for.
All right. So what we going for, boys? Obviously, for the scallywag,
mate. I'm going with the solid rock.
Oh yeah.
Whoever Luke is. Yeah. Luke, we don't know who you are, but you sound like a moron, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And the Suki Lala, we're going with Rebecca by a mile.
I don't know, Scott. I reckon or Rebecca.
We didn't nominate Scott Morrison for Suki Lala, but he did sook up when he got something put on him. So
C-Bus, that's one for C-Bus. So Rebecca and a couple of little elves are running around, ringing around.
C-Bus from 84. Apparently I said 86, and that was one of the things they weren't happy about. But
and, of course, it won't be long. It's only how many weeks we got to go. And
we're on the downhill slope
till our Christmas show, and then we'll give the awards out for the Scallywag and the Suki Lala of the year.
Yep.
All right, if that's all, boys, we'll go in the same old way. Dare to struggle?
Dare to win.
If you don't fight,
You lose.
And it's Good Morning from the Concrete Gang, and we're going out with...
A good song.
Hi, this is Rafif Ziada, and you're listening to 3CR, Pro-Palestinian, Happily Proud Radio.